I'm David Hall. Thanks for tuning into this video on the topic of key signatures. Now, key signatures is a big topic. In fact, musical key is a big topic. You may have heard the phrase, this piece of music is in the key of G, or this piece of music is in the key of B flat minor. We're not going to discuss that today. What we're going to discuss today is what a key signature actually looks like on the page and how you know what order to draw the sharps and flats in. So take a look at these key signatures. Here's one, here's another, here's another. Now a key signature is a little cluster of sharps or flats at the beginning of a piece of music, and it tells you which sharps and flats to play during the course of that piece of music. So even if you don't really know what key you're in, you will know how to play the piece. The sharps are always drawn in a particular order. So if you have a piece of music with one sharp, it will be F sharp. It's drawn up on the top F line. If you have a piece of music with two sharps, they will be F and C. A piece of music with three sharps will have F, C, and G. The next sharp we draw is always D, then A, then E, then B. F, C, G, D, A, E, B. On the other hand, if you have a piece of music with flats, if you only have one flat, it will be B flat. If you have two flats, B, E. Three flats, B, E, A. And just like with the sharps, this is going to make a zigzag pattern. B, E, A, D, G, C, F is the order that we draw flats. Now, one way of remembering this order is to remember the phrase, Father Christmas gave Dad an electric blanket, for sharps. And blanket exploded and Dad got cold feet, for flats. There are other rhymes you may have come across. Father Charles goes down and ends battle, for sharps. And battle ends and down goes Charles's father, for flats. Now here are some examples of big key signatures in every clef. I mentioned the zigzag pattern earlier. These ones that I've circled in red make a perfect zigzag shape. These ones that I've circled in blue, I've just circled the A sharp. That's where the zigzag pattern breaks down. The reason we drop down for the A sharp is that we don't want to be drawing sharps up on ledger lines. If we carried on with that zigzag pattern, we'd end up on ledger lines and it'd be really hard to actually read them. So this is how you draw key signatures. They tell you which sharps and flats to play, and in the next video I'll explain how they also tell us what key we're in, and therefore what notes we're likely to be using and what chords we're likely to come across in our music.
At the piano, look at the key signatures in the music that you are learning. Notice that they follow the patterns outlined in this chapter. If you are able, play some of the Well-Tempered Clavier by J.S. Bach.
This chapter of the book, There's More to Playing the Piano, is all about key signatures, how we write them, what order we do the sharps in, and what order we do the flats in. I've not touched on the whole concept of what key we're in, whether we're in a major key or a minor key. That comes in the next chapters. But for now, it's just really important to notice the key signature and know which sharps and flats you need to play in your music. I've got a grade 2 piano book here, and if we flick through it, the first piece has no sharps and flats, so that's easy to remember. The second piece has two sharps, and just as I predicted, those sharps are F and C. You can see them printed here next to the treble clef and also next to the bass clef. That means that all the Fs and all the Cs in this piece will be sharps, unless it tells you otherwise during the course of the piece. The next piece has one sharp, so that's an F sharp. The next piece has no sharps and flats. The next piece amused me because it's got a flat in the key signature, which must be a B flat, but there are no B flats during the course of the piece. There's plenty of A's, D's, F's. There just doesn't happen to be any B flats in that piece. So what I'd like you to do is go through the pieces you're playing at the moment, just double check those sharps and flats. This one has F sharp and C sharp, so just make sure you're playing them. So it's not. It's this instead with F sharps. Really important to get those notes right. Now, there was a famous composer, I'm sure you've heard of him, called J.S. Bach. And he actually wrote a piece of music in every single key. So right up from 0 sharps and 0 flats, right up to 6 sharps, 6 flats, every major key, every minor key. Now of course there are 12 notes on the piano, so that's 24 pieces in this book. It's called The Well-Tempered Clavier. And Bach was so pleased with what he'd done that he did it again and wrote another book, another collection. So there are actually 48 pieces here. They're known collectively as the 48. And you may not be able to do this yet, but something to aspire to is to play through one of these every day. A lot of famous pianists use these not just as a warm-up, but just as beautiful music to get to know and to gain fluency in every possible key signature.